When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat, Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom, Shalom. Shalom, shalom. Is a gift from God, so put a smile upon your face. He's got the whole world in his hands, so obey his commands and you will know peace. Shalom, shalom. Shabbat shalom, shalom.
Shalom, and welcome to Be the Light, Music and Stories of Hanukkah. My name is Noreen Green, and I am the Artistic Director of the Los Angeles Jewish Symphony and the conductor of the Jewish Community Chorale. On behalf of Rhonda Spinnick, the Artistic Director of the Braid, formerly known as the Jewish Women's Theater, we hope you enjoyed this short holiday program, featuring some new and old Hanukkah songs, including a new rendition of Let There Be More Light, composed and performed by the award-winning Melissa Manchester. We also have some delightful stories to share with you, performed by the Braid actors from their Hanukkah theme repertoire. Happy Hanukkah!
This chilly time of year, the wind blows harsh and cold, and daylight disappears while darkness takes its hold. We tell the ancient story of the Maccabees' brave fight, but today their task is in our hands. We all must be the light. Be the light.
It was a stormy night in the Maryland suburbs of Washington, D.C. I was 6 years old, and my kid brother Harvey was 4. It was the third night of Hanukkah. My mother was in the kitchen preparing potato latkes. The homemade applesauce was warming in the oven. Snow was coming down quickly and sticking to the pavement. Maybe school would be canceled tomorrow. The storm outside, coupled with the festivities inside, made me feel safe. My parents explained the plan. Mom would light the shamas candle and hand it to me. I would take the shamas and light the first candle, then pass the shamas on to Harvey, who would light the second candle. Harvey would then pass the shamas on to Dad, who would light the third candle. There was something about this plan that did not sit right with 6-year-old me. Why should Harvey and I light the same number of candles? I should light more candles than Harvey because I was older. Mom lit the shamas and passed it on to me. I savored the moment as I lit the first candle. And then, without missing a beat, I lit the second candle too. I handed the shamas to Harvey. He ignored me and quickly lit candle number 3. And then he took the shamas and set my hair on fire. My locks grew back, but that's about the only thing that grew back. Harvey, his wife, and their one and only child live on the Atlantic coast, facing east. And I and my husband and our one and only child live on the Pacific coast, facing west. Of course, sibling rivalry is in our DNA. We're a mere link in a very long chain. There's Cain and Abel, Isaac and Ishmael, Jacob and Esau, Leah and Rachel, Harvey and Ellen.
Boy, 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 boy. Boy, 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 boy. Boy, 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 boy.
My mother drags me kicking and screaming to live in Bakersfield, California. Now, it wasn't that I object to moving per se. See, I've given new meaning to the phrase wandering Jew, chasing jobs around the country. The issue is, I've lived almost my entire life in large cities: Chicago, Los Angeles, Fort Worth, Indianapolis. Bakersfield is a lot smaller and, keeping it real, whiter than I'm used to. More Christian too. It is not, I am certain, an ideal home for a Black, Jewish, feminist, single mother. But my child care costs in Indianapolis were more than my mortgage, and it was probably just a matter of time before I got laid off there, as the industry I worked in was struggling. Meanwhile, my mother had wisely fled the Los Angeles real estate bubble for more affordable Bakersfield. She's a widowed empty nester now, all by herself in a 4-bedroom house with a pool. A pool! Like, my mother doesn't even know how to swim! I swallow my pride and take a job at a less prestigious company and move in with my mother. She is on a fixed income and needs help with the bills. I need free childcare. It works for the both of us. The culture shock is seismic. I realize I despise small-town living. But at least Bakersfield has a synagogue. I join, and I try to make the best of things. I volunteer to help make latkes for a congregational Hanukkah party. It's hard work, so when I plop down to eat, I'm exhausted. An older man sits down next to me, and as he is wont to do, my 3-year-old son, Jake, starts climbing all over the guy and talking his head off. In between trying to teach my barbaric 6-year-old daughter, Kenya, some table manners, sit still, don't talk with your mouth full, I apologize profusely and urge Jake to leave the poor guy alone. The old man patiently waves me away and calls Jake cute. After a bit, he asks, where is their father? Can't he watch the kids a few minutes so you can eat? I explain that the children have no father because I've adopted them from foster care, son's husband. All by yourself? He asks, eyes wide. You're a single mom? He gawks as I turn from one wild, loud child to the other, trying to restore dignity to the table. But the kids are sugared up on Hanukkah treats, and there is no decorum to be had. In a rare pause in the chaos, my neighbor stretches out a hand and introduces himself. I'm Phil, he says. I don't think we've met. Court, I say. We moved here in March. Had I finished my Hanukkah shopping, he wants to know. Most of it. I started early so I could spread it out a bit because I took a pay cut when I moved here. Oh, the reason I ask is I have this little country store out in Edison. Now, I'm processing the unlikelihood of a Jew living or working in rural, remote Edison as I shift uncomfortably in my seat. Great. I think he's going to launch into a sales pitch. Even if I had money, which I don't, I would never drive 10 miles through farm fields to shop in a country store. Phil continues, I wonder if you're not too busy this afternoon, if you'd be willing to come to my place and let the kids pick out some presents on the house? A freebie? Now that changes things considerably. I discreetly lean over to inquire in the rabbi's ear as to whether this man is a deranged serial killer. After she vouches for Phil's character, I agree. On the drive over, the kids grill me about where are we going and why. Mr. Phil wants to give you a Hanukkah present, I say. Now, you just pick one thing each, something very small. Don't be greedy. Also, be sure and say thank you, even if you don't like it. See, I'm trying to lower their expectations. After all, we aren't exactly heading to Toys R Us or Macy's. The store, it turns out, is actually a mobile home on the edge of a farm. And even as mobile homes go, this one is a pretty pathetic one. It looks like one good gust of wind could topple the whole thing. The children give me puzzled looks as we approach. This is a store? Kenya says a little too loudly. I shush her and tell her to be gracious, reminding her that nobody owes us anything, certainly not this perfect stranger. Phil unlocks the place, steps inside, and holds the door open for us. Every inch of the store is covered with sterling silver. The walls are dotted with oversized belt buckles, ornate horse saddles, cowboy spurs. There are glass display cases in the middle of the room, so jam-packed with jewelry, you can hardly see what he is selling. The place positively sparkles. Phil takes Kenya's hand and walks her over to the belts. He finds a child-sized girl's belt with a sterling silver heart-shaped buckle. Now there are earrings to match, Phil says, pulling out sterling silver hearts with the same design as the belt buckle. And you'll need a ring. K for Kenya, right? He pulls out an adult-sized ring with a gold K on it. You just wear this on a necklace or something until your finger gets bigger, okay? He slides it on Kenya's thumb. Her eyes shine with excitement. Mommy, a real grown-up ring! Now you, young man, what do we have for you? He pulls Jake off the saddle my son had mounted when I was distracted by the sight of jewelry. You like horses, huh? How about this? Phil pulls down a big, gaudy cowboy belt buckle, sterling silver, with a little copper horse on it. Jake holds the belt buckle high and beams. Mommy! Horsey! Phil turns to me. Okay, Mama, what about you? I'm standing there with my mouth hanging open, mentally calculating the value of the gifts this man has just given a preschooler and a first grader. Oh, I couldn't. Really, it is not necessary. Oh, nonsense, Phil says. Pick something, really. In the interest of good manners, I select something small to appease him. Some round silver earrings, and I hope they don't cost him much. Oh, that's a set, Phil says, his face lighting up. He races through the store, collecting things from corners, drawers, shelves, as I follow him, imploring, no, wait, please, stop. There is a matching hair barrette and a matching ring and a bracelet, silver with gold trim. Oh, but if I wore the bracelet, I really ought to have this other pair of earrings too that also has gold trim. I protest helplessly as Phil ushers us out with our stash. You are so very, very kind. Really, you don't have to. Happy Hanukkah, he says cheerfully. Then he slams the door. So, I guess that's Hanukkah. Bakersfield style.
Save the date. Stories from the Violins of Hope, Sunday, January 31st, 2021 at 2 p.m. Presented by The Braid, formerly known as the Jewish Women's Theater, the Los Angeles Jewish Symphony, and Temple Isaiah. Originally scheduled in April 2020 as part of the Violins of Hope Los Angeles County event, we have reimagined the play for a virtual Zoom presentation. Ticket information can be found on your screen. Hope to see you there.
Let there be more light, let there be more light, not just for 8 nights, but every day of your life. Let every mitzvah bless every precious day. There are so many ways to let there be more light. Happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah, from my heart to yours. Happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, from my heart to yours. Let there be more light, let there be more light, not just for 8 nights, but every day of your life. Let every mitzvah bless every precious day. There are so many ways to let there be more light. Oh, happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, from my heart to yours. Happy Hanukkah. To yours. Let there be more light. Let there be more light. Not just for 8 nights, but every day of your life. Let every mitzvah bless every precious day. There are so many ways. Let there be more light. From my heart to yours. Happy Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah, from my heart to yours. Let there be more light, let there be more light, not just for 8 nights, but every day of your life. Let every mitzvah, every precious day. There are so many ways to let there be more. Let there be more and more. Let there be more light.
Hey everybody, Shabbat Shalom. My name is Rabbi Ron Goldberg. I welcome you to our Friday evening service this evening. I am delighted to be joined by your friend and mine, Ben Sion Kogen, a face that's familiar to us and a voice even more familiar to us. Looking forward to sharing the service with him this evening. We will be using our familiar Jewish home Friday night prayer book, so I'll be calling out pages from that so you can keep up with us if you're curious. But that being said, let us welcome Shabbat with song. Benzi?
All right, Shabbat Shalom, everybody. It's really great to be back with everybody, albeit on a virtual basis. So you've got a big me, and I don't see any of you, but I know you're all engaged. We'll start off with a couple of songs to set a good Shabbat tone. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matov shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hine matovu manayim shevet achim gam yachad. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar ma'od. The world is a narrow bridge. V'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. But the most important thing is not to be fearful. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod. V'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. V'ha'ikar lo lefached klal. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod. Kol haolam kulo gesher tsar meod. Gesher tsar meod.
Again, welcome to services this evening. Our first page is page number 4, Yedid Nefesh, My Dear God, Our Song to God, page 4, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid nefesh av harachaman mishoch avdecha el ritzonecha yarutz avdecha kemo ayal yishtachaveh El mul hadarecha yeravlo yedidotecha minofetzuf vechotam. Sing with me. Adur na'eh ziv ha'olam nafshi cholat avatecha anahel narifana la beharot la noam zivach az titchazek v'titrapeh v'hayta la simchat olam.
Please, dear God, bring healing by showing to my soul the wonder of your radiance. Then will my soul gain strength and be healed with joy everlasting. We continue on page number 16, the Psalm number 29, Mizmor LeDavid.
Mizmor LeDavid,
Avu l'Adonai b'nei Elim, Avu l'Adonai kevod va'oz, Avu l'Adonai kevod shmo, Ishtachavu l'Adonai behadrat kodesh, Kol Adonai al hamayim, El hakavod hirim, Adonai al mayim, Almayim Rabbim, Kol Adonai Bakoach, Kol Adonai Behadai, Kol Adonai Shover Arazim, Vaishaber Adonai et Arzei Halvandon, Vayarkidem Kemo Hegel, Levanon Vesirion, Kemoven Re'emim, Kol Adonai Chotzev Lachotesh, Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar, Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh, Kol Adonai Cholel Ayalot, Vayechesof Ye'arot, Uvehechalo kulo, Omer, Omer, Kavod, Adonai lamabuli ashav, Vayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
Adonai reigned over the flood. Adonai will reign for all time. May Adonai give strength to God's people. May Adonai bless the people with peace. We turn to page 18 for the popular Shabbat welcoming melody, Lecha Dodi. The imagery, of course, is of the Kabbalists in Sfat leaving the city and going outside into the forest to welcome in the Shabbat bride, to welcome in the joy of Shabbat in person by going out of the city to greet her. Page 18, Lecha Dodi.
Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad, Ishmi'anu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, U'shemo echad, L'shem ultiferet v'litila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki mekor ha'bracha, Merosh mikedem nesucha, Sof ma'aser v'shavat tila, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Mikdash melech, Ir melucha, Kumitzei mitohafecha, Rav lach shevet be'emek habacha, Vehu yachamol alaychem la, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela. O'i v'shalom, ateret ba'ala, gam besimcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala, lecha dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela, Lecha Dodi likrat kala, Pene Shabbat nekabela.
Thank you. We offer the traditional words of comfort to those who are in mourning or observing your site. May the Holy One, blessed be He, comfort you amidst all the other mourners for Zion in Jerusalem. All those who are in mourning, all those observing your site, please join me on page 30 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Mourner's Kaddish, page 30. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, Yalma dibra thirute v'yamlich malchute, v'chayechon v'yomechon, v'chaye l'chol Beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'imru, Amen. Yehi shmei Rabbah mevorach v'olam u'mei omaya. V'yiparach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar v'yitalev v'yitalal, shemei dekudashah v'rechu. Le'ela min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiran bi'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehi shlama Rabbah min shemaya, v'chayim oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'ramav, v'yaseh shalom, oleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. We turn to page 34, the Baruch Hu, to call to prayer, the beginning of our Mariv service. Page 34.
La 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 Baruch Hu et Adonai Hamevorach Baruch Adonai Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed Hamevorach Hamevorach Leolam Vaed.
We praise you as the source of all blessings, Adonai, who brings on the dusk of the evening. We go into the prayers, the blessings that precede the Shema Yisrael. On page 36, we begin with Ahavat Olam. With infinite love, you have loved the people of Israel.
Ahavat Olam Beit Yisrael Amcha Avta Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, v'shochveinu v'kumeinu, nasiach bechukecha, v'nismach b'divrei Toratecha, u'v'mitzvotecha, Le'olam va'ed, ki hem chayenu v'yorech yameinu, yorech yameinu, u'vahem negeh yomam v'layla. Ve'avatcha al tasir mimenu le'olamim, Baruch atah Adonai, Ohev Amo Yisrael.
Amen. Page 38, the Shema.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha, בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
You shall love Adonai your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your might. These words which I command you this day, take them to heart. Teach them repeatedly to your children, and talk of them when you're at home and when you're away, when you lie down and when you rise up. Bind them as a sign upon your arm. Let them be a sign above your eyes. Inscribe them on the doorposts of your homes and upon your gates. We continue silently to page 44, where Ben Sion will rejoin us there on page 44.
למען תזכרו ועשיתם מכל מצוותיי, הייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם,
I am the Lord your God who brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your God. I am the Lord your God. We continue on page 48 with Mi Chamocha, page 48.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדור בקודש, נורא תהילות עושה פלא. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקעם לפני משה, זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב, וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני, גאל ישראל.
We praise you as the source of blessings, our God, who brings deliverance to the people of Israel. Fetzi Kaddish before Amidah, page 52.
We're actually going to go, continue with Vishamru on page 52,
Even better.
Followed by the Fetzi Kaddish.
Even better.
Okay. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם, אותי לעולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש, שבת וינפש. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם.
Fetzi Kaddish before Amidah, page 52.
יקדל ויקדש שמי רבה, ולמד יברכיותי, וימליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי כל בישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב אמרו אמן, יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם לעולמי עולמיה יברך. יפרח וישתבח ויפאר ויתרע ויתנשא, יתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל, שמי לקודשה בריחו, לעילה מכל ברכתה ושירתה, ושפחתה ונחמתה, תמירן בעולמה ואמרו אמן.
So in Amidah's pages 54 through 68, I generally take this time to use some of the text here, some of my own thoughts and prayers. We're going to have a moment or two of silence, then we'll continue on page 76. Benzie?
Yitkadal v'yikadash me Rabba, Be'omati brachute v'yamlich machute, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayechon be'Yisrael, b'agala u'v'zman kariv ve'himeru, Amen, Yehi Shmei Rabba mevorach, v'olam li'omeo maya, yivarach v'shtabach, v'ar v'tromah v'yaseh, v'tadar v'taleh v'talal shmei kudusha, britu, leila min kol birchata v'shirata, Tush b'chata v'nechemata, damiram be'oma v'yimru, Amen. Yitkabel sloton u'oton, d'chol Yisrael, kadam u'vahondi b'shmaya v'yimru, Amen. Yehi shlom rabim shemaya, v'chaim alina b'kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'mramav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru, Amen.
Amen. It is time for Kiddush. Return to page 78. I have my beverage right here. I am prepared, Benzie.
So you'll hold it up. Good.
Fair enough.
Very good. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kodsho b'ava uvratzon, inchilanu zikaron l'maseh b'reishit, ki hu yom techila l'mikra'ei kodesh, zecher litziat mitzrayim, kivanu v'acharta, Yotanu kidashta mikol amim, v'shabbat kodshecha, v'ava uratzon inchaltanu. Baruch atah Adonai,
No.
mekadesh hashabbat.
Amen. Amen. L'chaim, everybody.
Chaim.
We're going to break script just for a second here, Benzie. I got a quick question for you. We're going to do a minute for Torah.
Okay.
Something I think is a little appropriate for us now. We read in Leviticus 19, Ahavta recha kamocha. Pretty well known, right?
Yep.
What does it mean?
Well, it translates classically as love your neighbor as yourself.
Fair enough. I agree. Love your neighbor as yourself. And as Rabbi Akiva says, this is the klal gadol. This is the great lesson, the great message of Torah. Love your neighbor as yourself. And I would put out there's kind of a modern corollary to it that I think is important for us in our day. Ahavta recha keshehu lo kamocha. Love your neighbor when he is not like you. So in a lot of ways, it's easy for me to love Benzie. Why? We've got a lot in common. We have a commonality between us. It's easy for me to love him because I look at him and I see an awful lot of me. But how about loving somebody who is not like me, where I don't have that commonality, and I have to work that many more increments harder to see the divine spark that's in him also? That, I think, is our challenge for our day, to see our fellow and see within him or her that they too carry that same divine spark, and they are just as much a part of the Holy Spirit as we are. Amen.
Amen. Yeshua.
And Todah. We're going to finish up with our service with Aleinu on page 82. From there, we'll do our final Kaddish, and then, of course, Adon Olam. Page 82, Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon hakol, la'teit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu kigoy ha'aratzot, v'lo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, v'gor aleinu kechol hamonam, v'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim. Lifnei melech malchei hamlachim, hakadosh baruch hu, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד ארץ, משה לתורו בשמיים. אין עוד אמת, על כן נקבל לכבוד עלינו. כך כתוב בתורתך אדוני ימלוך לעולם ועד, ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
All those who are in mourning, all those observing Yortzeit, please join me on page 90 for the Mourner's Kaddish. Mourner's Kaddish on page 90. Yit Gadal v'Yit Gadash Shemei Rabbah. Yalma Dibra Thirute Yamlich Malchute V'Chayechon V'Yomechon V'Chaye L'Chol Beit Yisrael V'Agala V'Zman Kariv V'Imru Amen. Yehe Shmei Rabba Mevorach V'Olam U'Amei Omaya. Yitbarach V'Yishtabach V'Yitba'ar V'Yitroman V'Yitnaseh V'Yitadar V'Yitaleh V'Yitalal Shmei Dekudashah V'Rechu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechamata Damiran B'Alma V'Imru Amen. Yehe Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chaim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom B'Ramav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. We conclude, of course, with Adon Olam on page 94. Benzi, what melody do you have for us?
Well, over the course of the last 4 years, I've done a number of melodies, probably the most controversial of which was Adon Olam to When the Saints Go Marching In. So we're not going to do that one today.
Okay.
We'll do something a little bit more conventional. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'Terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Leit Nasa B'Chefzo Kol Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Azai Melech Shemo Nikra Ve'acharei Kichlot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu Haya Vehu Hove Vehu Yeh Betifara Vehu Yeh Betifara Vehu Echad Ve'ein Sheni Leham Shilo Lehachbira Beli Reshit Beli Tachlit Velo ha'oz ve'ha'misra, velo ha'oz ve'ha'misra, ve'hu eli, ve'chai go'ali, ve'tzur chevli, ve'etzara, ve'hu nisi, umanosli, menat kosi, be'yom mekra, menat kosi, be'yom mekra, Beyado afkid ruchi ve'et ishan ve'ayira ve'im ruchi geviati Adonai li velo ira Adonai li velo ira.
You, God, are with me, and I am not afraid. Benzi, Shabbat Shalom. Thank you for joining us tonight. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
And Yasher Koach to you, Rabbi.
Thanks a lot.
When the sun has set on a Friday night, bringing peace into your home, families will gather all around singing Shabbat Shalom. Everybody sing Shalom. Shalom.